Honored guest, welcome to the closing keynote session of the 15th Annual Student Veterans of America National Conference, sponsored by Comcast NBC Universal. I would like to now welcome Student Veteran of the Year finalist, Greg Sanchez of the University of California, Riverside.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today on this last day of the 15th Annual National Conference? Excellent. Whether this is your first NatCon or your 15th, there's always more to learn, more connections to make, and more leadership opportunities to explore in our lives back home because of our experiences here. Before we get started, here's another reminder to follow Student Veterans of America on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all the shareable updates. And please include hashtag NatCon 2023 and hashtag WeAreSVA and hashtag SVA Leads so we can all interact online. And while you're at it, follow SVA on LinkedIn, your most important career tool. And I'd like to take a moment now to thank Comcast Universal for sponsoring this closing general session, for being a revered partner of SVA for many years. This afternoon, we're going to hear from several honored guests and leaders in the veteran community and who prioritize building community and shared spaces within our population. I have to say, I've been looking forward to today's speakers most of all. To that end, I'm honored to introduce our next speaker from the Veterans of Foreign Wars, fondly referred to as the VFW. It's the VFW's vision and mission to, quote, ensure that veterans are respected for their service, always receive their earned entitlements, and are recognized for the sacrifices they and their loved ones have made on behalf of this great country. I myself am a member, and I invite you all to join us. Our next speaker, Ryan Gallucci, is responsible for the day-to-day operations of VFW National Veterans Service, which ensures veterans, service members, and their families have access to their earned benefits through the departments of Veterans Affairs, Defense, and Labor. To achieve this, Ryan oversees the VFW's network of more than 1,900 VA-accredited claims representatives located around the world, and on most of two dozen military installations to ensure they have the necessary training and resources to provide the best possible service to their veteran clients. He previously served as the VFW's Deputy Legislative Director, where he worked directly with Congress and federal agencies to craft and implement transition and education policies that benefited the veteran community, such as in-state tuition protections for veterans and the redesign of Military Transition Assistance Program. Ryan also established the VFW SVA Legislative Fellowship Program, which offers exemplary student veterans the opportunity to learn about veterans advocacy hands-on in Washington. Ryan formerly served on the Secretary of Labor's Advisory Committee on Veterans Employment, Training, and Employer Outreach, and served 8 years in the U.S. Army Reserve, and was deployed to Iraq in 2003-2004, where he received the Bronze Star for meritorious service and the Combat Action Badge. He uses GI Bill benefits to earn a bachelor's degree in journalism and political science from the University of Rhode Island. Prior to joining the VFW staff, Ryan served as Deputy Communications Director for AMVETS. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Geez, all right, okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Greg, for the long-form introduction. So you know a little bit about me. First of all, thank you, SVA. How about this week, right? Okay, yeah. All right, Jared, General Cortez sponsors, supporters of SVA, Walt Disney World, thank you for the hospitality and the opportunity to share the work of the VFW with so many eager student veteran leaders. Again, I'm Ryan Gallucci, Deputy Executive Director of the Washington office, and I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak with you today at the 15th SVA NatCon. By my count, I think this is my 9th or 10th NatCon, and I have to say that every year I leave this event ready to run through a brick wall to support student veterans. Yeah. Maybe that one later. Maybe one of the air walls, probably, but we'll probably go with the air walls. So look, I've had the chance to meet and speak with many of you throughout this week, like our contingent from Rhode Island College. Are you in the room? No? Okay, great. All right, it's my home state, but we'll get to that later. But I want to share a little bit about me to help you understand why NatCon is so important to me and the VFW. So when I was a student veteran, SVA wasn't around. Ever since SVA came on the scene 15 years ago, providing resources and opportunities to build tomorrow's leaders, it's been a personal mission of mine to work alongside SVA and support in whatever ways that I can. It's why I'm proud of the VFW's longstanding relationship with SVA and the student-specific programs that the VFW runs, which I'll talk about here shortly. Now, you may empathize a little bit with my experience. In the early 2000s, I was in the Army Reserve as a civil affairs specialist using my GI Bill Reserve Select. Anyone heard of that one? Yeah. To attend the University of Rhode Island. In 2003, I was called to active duty to serve in Iraq. And when I came home in 2004, it took a lot for me to process the transformative experience I've just been through. And I use that word transformative for all of the good and bad that comes along with it. I'll be honest, I was angry when I came home from Iraq. In Iraq, we were under-equipped and extended twice, so I didn't really trust the Army. And while I was gone, I was disenrolled from college for going over my leave of absence and even had to write an essay on what I did with my time off to get back in. I think I still have it on a hard drive somewhere. I got to look that up. But thankfully, I had family, friends, and mentors who helped me channel that energy into something constructive. My dad, a fellow Army veteran, he and my private therapist got me into VA for help. My VA therapist and a DAV service officer got me to file a VA claim. My Army team leaders helped me land an internship at the Naval War College, and the VFW in Rhode Island showed me why it was important to get involved. Fast forward, I graduated from URI, moved to Washington, D.C., and was introduced to veterans advocacy. I found a new cadre of mentors who helped me grow as a professional. Today, I'm a proud URI alumni and a proud Army soldier for life. And on March 1st, 2023, I'm slated to take over as Executive Director of the VFW Washington office, filling the shoes of one of my strongest mentors and advocates, Vietnam Marine Corps veteran and past VFW Commander-in-Chief Bob Wallace. So why do I share this? Because I know many of you in this room and many more of the veterans you help serve on campuses may have felt alienated the same way that I did. I know some of you have been through similar transformations because you've told me about it this week. Well, guess what? You're in the room where it happens, you're in the arena, pick whatever cliche you want. You're here. You're making a difference, and I'm excited about where your journey is going to take you. My journey brought me to the VFW, and I encourage any of you here to join. Some of you have asked me why, so here's why. You've shown that you're willing to organize and lead, and when you join the VFW, we'll help you channel that. I'm going to highlight Catherine Castle, one of my teammates here from the VFW staff. So I met Catherine here in Orlando at NatCon 2019 when she was a student veteran at UNLV. Since then, yeah, Rebel vets, there they are. Okay. Since then, Catherine has been a VFW SVA Legislative Fellow, an accredited representative on Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall, an officer in her SVA chapter and her VFW post, and today is the director of the VFW's Legislative Grassroots Action Corps. Oh, and she's also still a student veteran at UNLV. I know there are dozens of Catherines in this room. People like Jared Lyon, who a long time ago, as a student veteran at Florida State University, also served as junior vice commander. Oh, there's Florida State. But served as junior vice commander of Post 3308. It's hard to label what exactly that is, but it's what the VFW can offer you. So join the VFW, join any VSO you're eligible for. It's why Congress listens to SVA, VFW, Wounded Warrior Project, DAV, and others. You know, most Americans only have one voice on Capitol Hill. Wouldn't it be great if you had 6, 7, 8 who had your back? This is how we get things done like the post-9/11 GI Bill and the PACT Act. Because when veterans organize, lawmakers listen. It's a beautiful thing. For me, it started on the steps of Congress in 2008, alongside the founders of Student Veterans of America fighting for the post-9/11 GI Bill. And this summer, it continued alongside Jon Stewart fighting for the PACT Act. Now, thank you. Yeah, the PACT Act is pretty impressive and important. But let me tell you, they only care what Ryan Gallucci or Jared Lyon have to say if there are 1 million VFW members backing it up with calls, emails, social media posts to congressional offices. That is your strength, and that is the strength of belonging to a VSO. Better yet, come work for a VSO. I'll shamelessly plug it. We're always looking for bright new leaders, and it may be easier than many of you in this room think. Right now, VFW is hiring 3 positions on our national staff to include an accredited claims representative on Naval Station San Diego. So come on, who doesn't want to work in San Diego helping transitioning service members as they're getting out of the Navy? Right? Okay, so I want to see a lot more resumes later. So to find these, visit vfw.org/careers. You can pull out your phones now. I'll wait. I'm just kidding. I have 10 minutes. There's a timer down there. All right. But our state VFWs are always looking for talent as well. As I know, SVA founder and VFW adjutant quartermaster for the state of Michigan, Derek Blumke, can attest. Reach out to your VFW state headquarters and see if they need your help. There are opportunities here as well. As you can see, we're passionate about student veterans and your boundless potential. But trust me, this isn't just big talk or me asking you for something. We put our money where our mouth is, in 3 specific programs. First, we provide grants to VFW posts to support outreach on your campus. If your chapter needs help with an event, your local VFW post is eligible for up to $500 each semester to support. That could be your welcome back barbecue or the logistics for a fundraiser to send veterans to NatCon. Next, through our partnership with Sport Clips, VFW offers need-based scholarships to veterans who separated at E5 or below. Through Sport Clips' generosity, VFW's provided more than $11.4 million in scholarships to nearly 2,400 student veterans. And if you get it once, you keep getting it until you no longer need it. Finally, through the VFW SVA Legislative Fellowship Program, we offer exemplary student veterans the opportunity to walk the halls of Congress alongside the VFW, advocating for policy change. All these programs can be found at vfw.org/assistance under the Student Veterans tab. On the VFW SVA Legislative Fellowship, we started this program back in 2015, and only a few short years I'm proud of its legacy, and so I'm going to embarrass a few more people. We've watched as fellows have gone on to do incredible things, whether it's Cameron Zibikowski working to get his idea signed into law. Yeah, Cameron's backstage, I think. Yeah. So I'm just before coming on. Or continuing the mission of veteran service like Catherine, who I mentioned earlier, Ken Wiseman, who's now on VFW's Council of Administration, or our fancy word for our board of directors, Tom Wicke, who's now a Senate staffer, or Tammy Bartlett, who's your SVA Vice President of Government Affairs. The VFW SVA Legislative Fellows inject fresh ideas and perspectives into a veterans community that in DC, admittedly, can feel like an echo chamber. So it's my honor today to announce the 2023 class of VFW SVA Legislative Fellows, and I'll ask that as I read your names, please just stand and be recognized. First, Chet Bennett, Marine Corps veteran, Kansas State University. You sat in order, too. This is great. All right, Megan Fitzgerald, Army veteran, University of Denver. Harry Phillips, Army veteran, Tulane University. Jordan with the good hair, Quinones, Army veteran, Arizona State University. And you saw him a few minutes ago, Greg Sanchez, Navy veteran, University of California, Riverside. So look, we all had the chance to sit down last night and earlier this afternoon. I think this class is going to do some amazing things to help a lot of veterans. Some of these things have been staring us in the face for a while, like housing insecurity, financial readiness, transition, and the like. But these fellows were able to name it in their proposals, and I think our friends on Capitol Hill are going to be very interested in what they have to say. Congratulations to each of you. I look forward to getting to work with you over the next semester and advancing your ideas, so let's give them one more round of applause. So in closing, I'm humbled and honored to have shared this week with an incredible group of emerging leaders, veterans advocates, and supporters. I'm leaving this conference energized and excited, and I hope you are too. There's a lot of work still to do to assist our fellow service members, veterans, families, and survivors, but I'm confident that together we'll meet the challenge as we build a new generation of American leaders. On behalf of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, our National Commander Tim Borland, a fellow post-9/11 veteran, thank you, SVA, for another successful NatCon. Let's do this again next year.
Now, please welcome the chapter presidents of this year's Chapter of the Year finalist. Corey Griswold, President, Texas A&M University. Silgi No, President, University of Southern California. Alexis Smith, University of South Carolina. Miguel Pinto, Vice President, Graduate Relations, Fordham University. And Megan Missler, Vice President of Bowling Green University. And leading the discussion, Dr. Christine Kemwell, to talk about becoming a giant for future chapter leaders.
Hello, SVA. I'm Dr. Christine Kemwell. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I serve as the Senior DEI Fellow for SVA. And I have the privilege and honor to be up here with your student leaders. And we're going to just have a nice conversation today. So why don't we start with introductions?
You want to go first? I guess I'll go first. So, Miguel Pinto. I am a enlisted Navy veteran. Then I came to my senses and commissioned in the Marine Corps. I'm an MBA student at Fordham. I am the Vice President of Graduate Students. I've been with the school since fall of 21, and I will be passing the torch today.
My name is Alexis Smith. I am the president of University of South Carolina's a wonderful chapter. I am a master's of communication student, and my major is broadcast journalism. So yeah, that's me.
My name is Silgi No. I am chapter president at University of Southern California. So USC, actually we bond really well. So we found that very interesting. But I am majoring business administration.
My name is Megan Missler. I go to Bowling Green State University for criminal justice, and I am the incoming VP. And yeah.
Well, I'm Corey Griswold from Texas A&M, and thank you, whoop. And I am an animal science major, and I was in the Air Force for 15 years, and thank you. Everybody thinks I'm a Marine or an Army guy just because of the haircut and the way I'm built, but I'm literally an Air Force guy, just so you guys are aware.
So we're actually going to start our conversation right now talking about what does inclusion mean for you on your campus and within your chapters. And I think, Alexis, you want to start?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I wanted to pivot towards for this next upcoming semester for us is moving towards not just limiting it to just veterans. I feel as a spouse, once I got out of the military, there was not a lot of people that wanted to include spouses in the discussion as a whole. There was not a lot of avenues to even include spouses. When our significant others often go to war or get on accompanied tours or unaccompanied tours without us, most of the time they say, they can't come in the sea bag with you. You got to leave them behind. And that type of rhetoric is really harmful when you hear that as a spouse. And I heard that when I was in the military, and it's really harmful. So providing those resources to spouses, children, families, and whoever it may need to go to is really important. So bringing that towards the campus, because we have a large spouse population on campus. So bringing those resources to campus will be extremely inclusive, and even those that may have children, providing resources to them as well will make it more inclusive and tell them like, hey, we hear you, we see you, and we have a place for you, and it's not just for veterans, but you as well.
So just to piggyback on that, USC SVA chapter actually has some ROTC cadets and spouse and dependent on our board. So we wanted to just expand the community more inclusive. So we try to collaborate with the ROTC cadets, and whenever we see anybody coming and visit at our VRC, we try to invite them to our community and just try to have more fun with them. And then also, I wanted to mention how like our group is very inclusive and diverse, since whenever we attend any type of meeting as a group, as you can see here too, we're such a diverse group. Like even like all the crowds, like we're so diverse. So I think it just shows like right here.
Guess I'll go again. So it's a great answers, but if I could add anything to that, I guess we can include the personal aspect of it, right? So there's a doctrine that we probably heard it in the past through our career, that how do we gain an advantage in the battlefield, and that is by seeing through your enemy's lens. So in this case, if we could use that to our advantage, it is seeing through the veterans, right, our new incoming students, and trying to understand who they are, where they are in life, and what they're looking for, and therefore we're looking for opportunities that are going to interest them, and therefore they're going to join and they're going to want to be part of the community.
So to back on all of you, I wanted to take a different step, and I wanted to talk about inclusion into like the student body. So as a veteran as a whole, all of us getting onto and mixing ourselves into this student body is going to be vital for sorry, I'm nervous. Being able to make connections into like create like friendships that are going to last, like not only as like a veteran, but like as other students as well. And I also wanted to add that to take the organization and to change. So your identity is not only going to be just as a veteran, but they're going to help you change and also add on to your identity as like into the student world.
Good job. Inclusion for us here at Texas A&M is we're all service members. We've all gone down the same road. We have our brothers and sisters together. The inclusion for us is our mental health. I'll give you a little backstory on myself. I was addicted to opioids, had an alcohol problem to remediate some of the pain that I had for my back pain. Had suicide intentions, and for everybody that's here that has ever dealt with something like that, to see your son running down the streets and saying, "Daddy, please don't go," really pulls at your heartstrings. And for those service members that ultimately go down that path, we are here for you, regardless of what university we're at, where we're, who we represent. All of us are here together and to help each other. And that is the ultimate path that we're trying to go down as Texas A&M, is try to help with those mental disorders and to bring the network and bring our battle buddies back to where they can be a band of brothers and sisters again.
So one of the themes that comes out every time I talk with any of you is about community and really building community and a sense of place on your campuses. Can you talk about the ways that you've been able to do that on your campuses?
One of the ways.
See? Bonding.
Bonding and community on stage.
So one of the things that we do at USC is we like to approach to our veterans personally, so like one by one. So whenever they come to the our orientation, we would just talk to them personally and try to ask them, like, because not all veteran wants to be part of the SVA or part of the veterans organization. So I try to always connect with them at the personal level, and then trying to see if they're comfortable with the community. If they're not, then I just try to go on a lunch with them just one-on-one, and then from there, if I see their personality matching with someone else, then I try to bring like one by one, and then after that I start building community. But then I do feel like I'm pretty sure everybody agrees on it, but then I have a feeling that we always get like different types of people every semester and year. So it's hard to adjust each semester, but it's just how once you build a community and once you have one, I think it's just easier after that. So
I was gonna kind of piggyback off that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal your claps. I heard everybody's trying to start clapping. But just to talk about similar to what you were saying is, just when I came to the campus, the Vet and Mill Center was a really big center that you can kind of go for any type of resource at the University of South Carolina. You can pretty much talk to anybody there to get any type of help. That's a big resource for a lot of our veterans on campus and a lot of the dependents and anybody that needs help. So I love that we have that there and it's in a centralized location. One of the things that we've kind of done separately is that a lot of the various members, whenever we attend events, a lot of programs, speaking of our speaker, the VFW, they gave out a lot of literature. I see a lot of the organizations that came to the NatCon event, they passed out so much literature, handbags, and all of these goodie bags. We take that literature and we take it back to our campus and we leave it out and we just pass it back out to veterans just in case those veterans that could not be, here at NatCon, we give that back out to them so that they can have those access to those resources. And if they need help with anything, we like to point them in the right direction so that they have it. One of the biggest things we prioritize as well is what you were bringing up with mental health. Mental health is such a big issue within the veteran community and in the world as a whole. We don't talk about it enough. And I don't care how many times people say, we're doing this, we're taking care of that. We're not doing enough for mental health for it to be such a crisis as it is right now. So I love that, you were able to be so vulnerable and share your story, and that takes a lot of courage. And I'm so glad that you're still here standing before us today. But we need to do more to take care of our veterans, and giving them the resources and pointing them in the right direction is something that I take a lot of pride in that we're doing at our university, even if it's just, literature or, staying behind and helping them out with their paperwork. And I love that we have that with the Vet and Mill Center.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Sure. So I spoke to creating opportunity earlier, and once again, creating opportunity within our community. And it's not just the veteran community, because again, Fordham is more than just a veteran community. And then we have our own community, which is the Bronx or the New York City area. So I'll give you two examples. There was a fire in the Bronx, and I think this was actually one of our first missions. And we came as a community together because it took the effort of the community within and proximity of the fire, the community at Fordham, and then the veteran community and the other clubs to get together to be able to use our platform to raise money. We raised donations. They needed specific things for children that were attending school, backpacks, hygiene. And then we took that and we offer more than just our platform. Then we actually volunteer. We went to their location. We helped them sort out. And that brings the community together. And it also gives us a sense of purpose, which is what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Do either.
Do you want to play paper, rock, scissors on this?
Yeah.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
I got it.
All right, fine.
So, at Bowling Green State University, we have been working with the VFW when we go to the Legion, and we're trying to build our community outside of not just the university, but also like our Greek life at Bowling Green State University. We do like trunk or treat with other organizations inside of the student government, as well as hosting events like with the VFW, like we do Taco Tuesdays every night. And we kind of like pull in all the different types of communities, and we're trying to definitely expand greatly.
Okay, so now I'm the last. Thank you. What we're doing at Texas A&M, which I really love, is the Coffee Thursdays with the old veterans. And I'll tell you, if you ever get the chance to do it, sit down. They've got some stories they could tell you and make you cringe, make you laugh, make you cry. They do everything, so always do that. Plus, we have Adopt a Street there in College Station, and we're working with the youth. I mean, we do a lot of community outreach to show that the veteran presence is there for not just as a student veteran, but as a veteran as a whole. So.
Yeah, and I mean, so Corey started talking about the service and the service that you give back to the community as a whole. Can you folks talk about what does service mean on your campuses and within your chapters? Sure, we don't have to go in the same order every time.
Paper, rock, scissors again?
Okay, we're starting on this end this time.
All right, we're starting with you.
So service means to me, we've all served, right? Or we've had family that's served. We identify as the veteran community, military affiliated. We know service. It's literally ingrained into our bones, our blood, everything. And so being able to serve other veterans, being able to serve your community, going out, like doing that trunk or treat, going and supporting the VFW. We go to the county fair in the we work and help with the Legion out there. It's all about like giving back, and also they're giving back to you as well. Like it's an exchange. Being able to say that you've served and then continue serving the rest of your life is the point.
For us, we have a lot of heritage at Texas A&M as a military school. A&M is agricultural and military, so we have a long history of the military. We have a senior military. We have the Corps Cadets as well. And with that, we always are serving in our community. We are always working with the community, working with the president, working with the chancellor, the vice president. We're constantly trying to figure out what's the next bigger, better thing for us to be able to do a community outreach for.
I'll talk. So at USC, we do a lot of services through our school, so like USC volunteering centers. So we would collaborate with them, or we would actually collaborate with any other student affairs center, such as LGBTQ+, or the Latinos, or like Asian Pacific centers. So we would collaborate with them, I feel like all the student veteran has some type of mindset of giving back to the community, and I think that's what I value the most at our chapter, because we just love doing those kind of things. Like recently we did Tom cleaning tomb cleaning at the LA National Cemetery with the school name that I cannot mention, UCLA. So those kind of things, like, I think even though we are always like fighting for each other, like, oh, we're gonna win, but then we get together as a community and giving back and just having that mindset of serving people.
I can go. So, service. To me, service is duty and sacrifice, right? We've all experienced that. We all know what that means. And leadership to me is to inspire a group of individuals to follow you, to maybe want to become like you and do the right thing. So to me, service at the leadership and leadership at the chapter level means to continue to fight that battle, to sacrifice. It takes time. Being a chapter leader takes time, takes planning, takes still sacrifice. But it's for the benefit of all the students that are going to come after us. So that's what it means to us at Fordham University.
I feel like for the University of South Carolina, service looks similar, but just a little bit different. It looks like taking care of your people, most importantly, and prioritizing the health of the individuals that are in the organization. And I have to speak to this specific event that happened when we volunteered. It was called Steps and Strides, and it was the most amazing event. We tabled up, and it was so much fun. We got to, see so many different vendors all, participating in this walk/run/ whatever. And it was just a humbling experience to see so many veterans come out and, receive all different types of, resources that they may have needed. And I remember at one point I walked around and I, received, all these free gifts. And one of the organizations gave me this bag, and they filled it up to the brim with shower stuff, socks, everything. And I was like looking at myself, I was like, do I look like I'm, dirty, or like, do I look like, and the thing is, I felt offended in the moment, but then I had to humble myself. I was like, no, I don't think that they're thinking this about me. I think that they just are just trying to provide this for me. And it had food, it had literature, it had puzzles, a Sudoku game, and I tried to give it back. And the woman behind the counter, she was like, no, I want you to keep it. I need you to keep it. Because you just never know where you might end up. And or if you don't feel like you need to keep it, give it to someone who you feel like might need it. And I kept that bag in my car for weeks. And I said, you know what? If I see a homeless veteran, I'll give it to them. Because it's so important to, that to me is what service looks like. And when I, talk to, my chapter, and when we have discussions and things, well, what ways we can give back and things that we can do, that's what service looks like to us, because they have so many ideas and things of what we can do to give back to our community as a whole, but not just, our campus, but the Columbia area, and of everybody and every veteran, and how we can, do those small acts of kindness. And that one veteran that I gave that baggie to, because, it had been burdening me, because I felt like I didn't need it at that time, but he definitely did deserve it. And I'm so glad that I was able to do that one little small act of kindness, because someone at that event showed me such a large act of kindness, and I'm so appreciative of it. But the things that, these organizations do for us, I just inspire, all of these, various chapters here on stage and out in the crowd. Those small acts of kindness mean so much. And, I hope that, whatever you do and whatever you can do, those little things that you may think, oh, I didn't do anything, it goes such a long way. It sticks with people, and you can be inspiring someone to do something.
Well, I'm sure you'll all agree with me that these are amazing student leaders and leaders in our campuses and our communities. I mean, you've shown how you and your chapters give back not just to the individuals where you're caring for each other, your campus community and the community at large. So let's hear it for our student leaders. Okay. back of me. We gotta do it.
Oh.
Everyone in
Yeah,
back
wait,
of us. Okay, okay,
Don't forget your gig 'em.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, please welcome Student Veteran of the Year finalist, Robert Gipe of Iowa State University.
Hello. We want to thank the presidents of the Chapter of the Year finalists and Dr. Christine Kemo for that great discussion. Yesterday, at the award luncheon, we recognized University of South Carolina as SVA Chapter of the Year and Joshua Jones as Student Veteran of the Year. It is important to note that Alexis Smith, president of the University of South Carolina, and Joshua Jones will both serve on the board this upcoming year. This is an incredibly important role, and they will give you all a bigger voice and influence on the board. Now, before I introduce our next speaker, I'm going to give one last reminder to upload your resume to your NatCon registration. Go to natcon.studentveterans.org, click on Already Registered, and then click on Modify Your Existing Registration. There, you'll be prompted to upload your resume, and that's it. Good things happen to those who make them happen, in this case, by simply uploading your resume. The reason we travel to NatCon is to open our doors to possibilities, so let's make sure SVA partners can find you after today. And now, I'm honored to introduce our next esteemed speaker, National Vice Commander of the American Legion, Patricia A. Harris. Harris is a retired Gulf War veteran of the U.S. Army and U.S. Army Reserves, and has been a member of the American Legion for the last 23 years. She has held offices at every level of the American Legion, including the Department State Commander of North Carolina, alternate National Executive Committeeman. She is a dual member of the Charles T. Norwood Post 157 in Raleigh and American Legion Riders Chapter 116. Harris graduated with honors from Dudley Cosmetology University in Kernersville, North Carolina, and was appointed by our state governor to the Military Affairs Commission. She has also founded and served as executive director of a nonprofit advocacy organization for women veterans, military for homelessness, domestic violence, sexual assault, empowerment, and employment. In 2007, Harris graduated from the American Legion National College in Indianapolis and has returned as a facilitator 4 times of the last 7 years. The daughter of World War II veteran Legionnaire, Harris is also a member of the American Legion Auxiliary. Harris is one of 5 National Vice Commanders. Please give a warm welcome to National Vice Commander of the American Legion, Patricia A. Harris.
Oh, I love that song. A speaker started off his seminar by showing a $20 bill to the public. He asked the people, who wants this? There was no surprise when all of the hands were lifted. So he offered to give the money to one of them, but instead he said, let me do something else with it. He crumbled the money, showed it again to the crowd, and repeated the question. Still, everyone raised their hands, and then he put the money on the ground. He stepped on it, got it all dirty. He raised it up again, and he offered it to the public. The people there that was gathered, guess what? They still had the interest of wanting that money. So they didn't care how dirty it was. They didn't care how wrinkled it was. And so he told the public, no matter what I did to this money, you all still wanted this. You were all in favor of my offer just because of the value of that money never decreased. So the moral of that is believe in yourself and work hard to achieve success. Value yourself, irrespective of the failures and the obstacles, and don't degrade yourself just because of temporary setbacks. So good afternoon. I have felt this magic and this energy that could only come from the Student Veterans of America. And you talking about Disney, when I was told that I was coming, I said, oh, I'm going down there near Disney. I haven't even seen Mickey at all. I tell you what, because I was so happy and I was so proud of all of the places that I've been and in the classrooms and in the instructions that I saw while I was here and I sat in on. But I did see some ears. I did see some mini ears, some Minnie Mouse. So I said that was okay. So what a successful NatCon. And of course, like I said, I was enriched with the knowledge of just being here. I bring you greetings from the 12,000 posts and 1.7 million members of the American Legion. National Commander Jim Travola sends his best wishes, and he regrets that his schedule would not permit him to be here. He missed the ears. So it was just a few months ago, we were honored to hear from your president and CEO, Jared Lyon, at our national convention in Milwaukee. Jared spoke of our common interests and how our organizations help make the PACT Act a reality. So working as partners, and when needed, as a coalition, is nothing new for veterans. We've had our own service rivalries, and you know about it because when you was in basic training, you heard all of the jokes between the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and now we have the Coast Guard and the Space Force. But the biggest part about it for those that have deployed or those that had to understand that when we have to work together, when all of our forces went to work together, we was one heck of a force. And we would not tolerate anybody messing with any of us. And the same goes for our veteran organizations. The American Legion is honored to count many SVA members among our ranks and vice versa. So in fact, we have American Legion posts that's popping up all over the place in college campuses across the country. And together we stand shoulder to shoulder to advance the interests of student veterans. To give you an idea of the American Legion's esteem for student veterans, I recommend visiting our national headquarters in Indianapolis. On our third floor, encased in a beautiful glass display case, is the handwritten document written by American Legion past National Commander Harry Comery on Mayflower Hotel stationery. And it is the blueprint and inspiration of what became the 1944 Servicemen Readjustment Act, the original GI Bill. This landmark legislation wasn't simply about awarding an additional benefit for veterans. It was about creating a new class of people called a student veteran, making higher education obtainable to millions of World War II veterans, turn dreams into reality. So as you know, it took a while because not all students were welcome at all campuses during that period. But unlike everything else, with people saying, well, it's always been this way. I know you heard that before. Why change it? Just leave it like it is. Well, everything has to change. And we had to change some laws. We had to do some other things to make sure that everybody was afforded the opportunity to get a college education if they wanted one. And not only that, the GI Bill also had to change. It had to change with the times because everybody else was moving forward. So we gained a valuable ally when Student Veterans of America was formed in 2008. And it was not a coincidence that educational benefits for veterans would improve also. Traditional students attended college to receive an education. But student veterans are different. You bring the education to the classroom. Your knowledge of world events didn't come from reading books. It came from being a participant in the world events. And so after serving a tour or two or more in the military, academic challenges were not nearly as daunting. So we welcome and celebrate diversity on campus, and to think how your presence enriched those on that campus. Oh yes, I really do pity the professors that are inexperienced, especially the ones that try to teach history to you. Because you literally walk the walk and you help shape the world that we all live in. So moving to a college campus or a college town is unlike, kind of like a PCS change of station. You know how that is. So when we PCS'd in the military, sometimes it took time to kind of fit in and to kind of feel at home in our new community. But this is where the American Legion can help student veterans. Chances are there is American Legion post in your college town. So let it become your new home away from home. Whether you come in for a hot meal or just to spend time with fellow veterans, I think you will find that your Legion home can be a supportive environment. Remember, we all are family-oriented. The American Legion was honored to receive this invitation to attend this conference on your 15th anniversary. So accepting this opportunity was an easy decision from our board of directors. But I will add a personal note. In 2013, so now I'm getting ready to really age myself, while I was the state commander of the American Legion in North Carolina. Do we have any North Carolinians in here? All right. Well, I was their first woman state commander, so we do know that things changed. Well, during that year that I was the commander, we were asked to support a student veteran from Campbell University, and he was also a Legionnaire, a very active Legionnaire, had his whole family involved in the Legion post. That was a no-brainer to get our department to support him to come to a NatCon. That was back in 2014, so like I said, I'm really aging myself. But, you know, that was the best investment because he brought more there. He brought more to our department, and we can see the value that student veterans have given our organization, kind of move some of the other ones around a little bit. But you have to do what you have to do to keep things moving forward, and they did it with grace and they did it with great style. So, after doing that year, I was elected as the state commander for the state of North Carolina's Veterans Council. And the mission for that particular council was to promote legislation at the state level to support veterans and to further the interests of all North Carolina veterans. So at this time, I was probably the youngest thing sitting at that table. They knew they was in trouble because I looked around our table. We had over 20 veteran organizations there. And I said, okay, we're missing some people. We're missing people that we need to have to help us with some legislative issues. You're going to talk about education. So how are you going to talk about education when some of you that's sitting at this table, I said, I'm not trying to call any names or pick at you, but some of you are a little bit behind the times about what is needed now. So I got on the horn. I called up some of my friends that I knew from SVA in Raleigh. And guess what? That was the right thing to do. Because after all, who can better articulate the current needs than you? So without that leadership of the student veterans and veteran service organizations, we passed a bill, the Senate Bill 230 in North Carolina Military and Veterans Act of 2019, but it would not have happened if you had not been there. Always be there. We need you, and you need us. We look at you and say, okay, you're our future, but then we're your future too, because you will get old, and you won't be the fresh kid on the block anymore. But the best part about it is the experience that you're bringing now, because you see where the needs are right now. So always make sure that you are there. You always have a table with the American Legion. You always have a seat there. Because what they used to say is that if you're not at the table, then you must be on the menu. But it might not be too bad to be on the menu. I like to see them try to eat some of you. I heard some people talking while I was walking around, and I said, you know what? I said, well, some tough kids. And I said, but then I have grandkids that are a little younger than you, so I can only imagine what's coming up next. But I'm looking forward to it. And I thank you a lot for your service, because these bonds not only transcend service branches, but it also unite generations and eras, because you're never too old to get an education. Never too old. That is why this retired Army Gulf War vet and daughter of World War II veteran and Legionnaire can seamlessly connect with my sisters and brothers serving in the military today. The American Legion is strong, and the student Veterans of America is also very strong. And combined, we are an unbeatable force. So in closing, I shall leave you with this. When you come to the end of all the light you know, and it's time to step into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing that one or two things shall happen. Either you will be given something solid to stand on, or you will be taught to fly. Be the one. Thank you for all your service, and may God bless the United States of America.
Now, please welcome Student Veteran of the Year finalist, Jen Martinez of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
「 hello, my beautiful NatCon attendees. How are you all doing tonight? So, I have been looking forward. I have been waiting for this general session all week. Why? Because one of our next keynote speaker, Sebastian Junger. As many of you know, he's the #1 New York Times best-selling author of The Perfect Storm, Fire, A Death in Belmont, War, Tribe, and Freedom. As an award-winning journalist, a contributing editor to Vanity Fair, and a special correspondent at ABC News, he's covered major international news stories around the world, and he's received both a National Magazine Award and a Peabody Award. Junger is also a documentary filmmaker whose debut film, Restrepo, a feature-length documentary co-directed with Tim Hetherington, was nominated for an Academy Award and won the Grand Jury Prize at Sundance. In addition to his many titles, he is also the founder and director of Vets Town Hall. Hopefully, you've already visited their booth on the SVA campus, or you attended their breakout session today to learn more about how you can host your own Vets Town Hall. But you can always find more information at vetstownhall.org. I am thrilled to introduce Sebastian Junger.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's a pleasure, a real pleasure. I'm going to start with a story about my daughter. I'm blessed fairly late in life to have two young children, both daughters, both girls, 6 and 3. A couple of years ago, when my eldest was around 4, we were in a screened-in porch of a cabin that I'd built myself in the woods. And we were out there hanging out, and there was a bird sort of tweeting, singing a spring song, you know, from the branches outside. And I sort of whistled back. I tried to imitate the song. And my daughter, whose name is Aisha, she said, Daddy, don't do that. The birds will think that there's a bird trapped in the cabin and can't get out. She was worried that the birds would think there was a little bird who was trapped, that wasn't free. I'm telling you that story because it's clear that the instinct for freedom, to be autonomous, to be liberated, is completely hardwired in us. She was 4, and she knew in her heart that a trapped bird was a tragedy, and that other birds would think that. And it's made me think a lot about what constitutes freedom for us as humans. I hope you're all free, body and soul. We live in an amazing free country, so that's a good start. But you can even live here and find your autonomy undermined, your freedom undermined. You can be addicted to something. You might even be addicted to your smartphone, right? If you're dependent on something, you are less autonomous, you're less free. You can be in so much debt that you can't get out from under it. You could be in prison. There are very good people who have made poor choices, who are any one of those things, or maybe all 3 of them. But you can always liberate your mind. No matter what, no matter your circumstances, your mind can always be free. It's the maybe the central blessing of being human. That is always yours. No one can take it from you. I interviewed a gentleman who had spent 20 plus years in prison for making a very poor choice. He was from a very rough neighborhood, got sucked into the wrong kind of profession, and killed somebody when he was a teenager. And he did 22, 23 years, got out a little bit early on good behavior. And I was able to interview this guy like 2 weeks after he got out. And he was an extraordinary man. He sort of found God, he found education, he educated himself in prison. Extraordinary mind, an amazing man to talk to. And I said to him, I said, listen, I feel a little stupid asking this, but is it possible to be more free in prison than outside of prison? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, of course it is. Are you kidding? He said, it's very hard to be a drug addict in prison, which is a big problem in the neighborhood he was from. There are no distractions. There's no iPhones. There's no whatever. He said, all you got is time. And with all that time, eventually you're going to have an honest conversation with yourself about who you really are and what you're doing there. And then you're a free man. And he said, there's a lot of people on the outside who never get there. And it really made me think about sort of what constitutes our freedom, and that ultimately, if you are in prison, the ultimate freedom is in your heart, is in your mind. A society needs two things to be free. It needs to be able to defend itself from enemies, right? Just ask the people of Ukraine, right? And in order to do that, you need people in the society who are willing to put others ahead of themselves, who are willing to risk their life for other people. Freedom, along with loved ones and defending loved ones and family, are one of the few things that people will die for. And as veterans, you have already made that choice. You have already accomplished one of the two things that a nation needs, which is people who will volunteer to put themselves last for as long as necessary. And every nation that has people like you working for them is a lucky nation. The other thing that a society needs in order to be free is to have people who are educated, who are educating themselves. It doesn't matter if it's in prison or in universities or late at night reading a book because you want to learn. It doesn't matter. But a free nation needs people who want to learn, who want to understand the world in both passionate ways and in dispassionate, rational ways. There's a reason that dictators do not want people thinking for themselves. There's a reason that dictators would prefer that people not inform themselves, not be educated, because then they will believe almost anything. And once you are educated, you are in a position to create a just, a righteous, and a liberated society. So not only have you done the first thing that a nation needs, as students, you are doing the second thing as an extraordinary combination. I was very lucky. I grew up in a very privileged community, upper middle class town outside of Boston. I went to a great college. The thing that I didn't have, I mean, the thing that I had was also what I didn't have. I was from a privileged society, and I did not have to fight for it. It was given to me, right? I had the good sense to do a lot of hard work. I was a climber for tree companies, dangerous job. I got hurt doing it. I learned a lot up in 80 feet in the air with a chainsaw. I did a lot of construction. I did all kinds of things that I felt would might sort of create a more balanced person. One thing I did was I worked for the highway department in my hometown when I was in college during the summer. And I always had a book in my back pocket in case there was some downtime. And back then, a lot of the guys were Vietnam vets, and they weren't big readers. And there I was. They knew I was a college kid, and I had a book in my back pocket, and you can imagine what they thought. And one day, it was a really hot day. They couldn't send us out to work. There was a heat clause. We were stuck in the garage, the town garage, and I found a nice big bucket in the front end loader or something. The steel was nice and cool. It was like 95 degrees out. And I curled up in the bucket and pulled out my book. And I was a huge nerd in college, right? I think it was literally, I think it was a book by an anthropologist named Claude Lévi-Strauss, right? So So I'm reading Cloud Levi-Strauss in the buck of the front end loader, the Belmont Highway Department, right? And this guy comes up, really tough guy, he's an older guy. And I was always sort of intimidated by it. He comes up and looks over and he chips the book up so he can read it. And I'm just braced, I'm just waiting for the criticism, right? The college boy, you know. He tips the book up, goes like this, nods, and he says, "Kid, you keep doing that. You keep reading those books. Because otherwise, you're going to wind up in a job like this." I carried that with me my whole life. I realized there was nothing to be ashamed of in having a very, very lucky background. But also, there was a lot to learn about the world. My father grew up in Europe. He was a refugee from 3 wars. His dad was Jewish. He fled Germany in 1933 with his family after the Reichstag fire. They went to Spain. They fled Spain in 1936 when the fascists came in under Franco. They went to Paris. You know how that ended. They came to the United States. He tried, in the United States mobilized, right? Hundreds of thousands of soldiers sent over to Europe to save the world from fascism. He wanted to be one of them, but he couldn't be because he had asthma. He tried to enlist and he had asthma, and he had to watch Americans save his home country of France while he stayed home. And so he got an education. He was a very bright guy. He got an education, and he served this country in its nuclear program. He worked on submarine design, on the NASA program. He couldn't fight, so he learned. And they're both a form of service. And so in that context, that amazing context of you all having done both, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. And thank you for having me speak.
NatCon attendees, thanks to Sebastian Younger, we have a video. This video does contain loud explosions, loud noises, and may be disturbing. So if you would like to leave the room before we start the video, we will give you a few moments to do so at this time.
Roger, good copy. I'll remain on Able Creek until I move into Saddle, Michigan, into Route 6 Romeo. Route 6 Romeo, Michigan. Hey, Roger, detect Patnell.
Actually, I can't even sleep, honestly. I've been on about 4 or 5 different types of sleeping pills and none of them help. That's how bad the nightmares are. I prefer not to sleep, not dream about it, than sleep and just see the picture in my head is pretty bad.
Oh, Jason came right by here. Oh. So, hey, there's fire coming. There's shooting. Hey, over there. Where? Tell me. Kim, get off.
That support fire from the base right down there.
Hey, what are they shooting from down there?
Hi, my name's Sebastian Younger. I'm an author and journalist, documentary filmmaker. I've covered wars all over the world. My last combat assignment was at a remote American outpost called Restrepo.
It's like cops taking indirect.
They're gathering intel right now basically on how to deal with us, because there's no really research or intel on how to treat us right now, because they haven't had to deal with people like us since, World War II and Vietnam, dealing with guys that are coming back from 15-month deployments with as much fighting, as we went through.
As hard as it was out there, a lot of them missed it, and they had tremendous difficulty readjusting to life back home. That's because out there they had something many Americans lack: community. As one soldier said, there's guys in the platoon who straight up hate each other, but we'd all die for each other.
Feels like longer than forever, yeah. My home is now a distant land. If I had one wish, I wish I could be back on that rock. Blue sky and tropical breeze.
I'd rather be there than here. I'd go back right now if I could.
How can we help veterans transition? How can we help veterans reincorporate themselves back into the society, back into the nation that they fought so hard for? For most of human history, trauma was experienced in groups and also recovered from in groups. That's the human norm. And we are adapted to deal with trauma in that way. And I looked at some of the ceremonies that tribal societies have used to bring warriors back from the battlefield, back from combat. And I looked at a ceremony called the gourd dance that was used by the Kiowa and other native societies of the southern Great Plains. And the gourd dance basically takes returning warriors and gives them a chance to sing, to dance, to speak to their community, to explain what they did for their people to defend them. That ceremony was resurrected in the wake of Vietnam to help Kiowa warriors, Native American Vietnam vets, incorporate and heal veterans back into society. So how do you do this in a modern nation of almost 400 million people? We're not the Kiowa. The idea that I came up with is called Vets Town Hall. People have been fighting and defending their communities since the dawn of time. Most people consider it an honor to be called to serve in that way, but it has costs. It has human costs because war is the worst thing, and it takes a terrible toll on everyone that it touches. Veterans from any war who served in any capacity have the right to stand up and speak for 10 minutes to their community at their town hall about what it felt like to fight for this country.
This poppy that I wear was from an event that I went to at the Akwesasne Mohawk Reservation in upstate New York. What we're doing here, they do regularly in their longhouse. I was one of the few people that was outside their tribe that they let into the longhouse to do a veterans benefit. How that day went, it started at 7 o'clock in the morning. It ended at 7:30 at night. There were 300 Mohawk warriors that started with us at 07. There were 300 Mohawk warriors that finished with us at 19:30 that evening.
The war is complicated. It does not fit into neat political categories.
In 2001, I had the wonderful pleasure to return to Vietnam and to spend the summer there at the University of Hue. And at one point, one of the students put her hand up and said to the Vietnamese hosts, "What does it feel like for you to have him sitting across the table from you?" And one of them came forward and said, "Well, first, we're very happy that he came back. The war was a long time ago. It is not that we forget, but we have to move on." And the sequel here, if you will, one of them stood and spoke for the group and said, "What did bring you back?" There had been a story that had been on my mind for the better part of half a century, 25 years at that point, now over 50 years. And it was an incident that happened in the Quai Son Valley when we were out on a tank infantry patrol. But I could make out what I thought was a pith helmet. I started to rise and I thought I could see a red star. And I was sitting on top of a 52-ton tank, M48A3, with a 50 caliber machine gun pointing at him. And I could see what looked like an AK-47 rifle that he was armed with. This happened very quickly, but I didn't fire. And I don't know why. And neither did he. And so what I said to my Vietnamese host was, if I could have any wish, that wish would be to meet that man and to thank him for my life. I said, what I would really like to do is stand in front of him and give him a salute. One of them got up, came around the table, stood at attention in front of me, and took that salute.
So I'd like to tell one particular person's story. First Lieutenant Rosalind Schultz. We were both female intelligence lieutenants, trained at the same base in Texas. We were the same age, both single, no kids, on the same road on the same day in Afghanistan. And I remember as we were leaving Bagram, the guy at the gate said to the driver, there had been a big explosion, and we should just be careful, aware of that on our drive. And that was the attack that killed Lieutenant Schultz. Her truck hit a roadside bomb, and she died in the medevac helicopter. And I was just haunted by the horror of how she died and the pain of what she experienced.
There are no Republicans or Democrats at a Vets Town Hall. There are no religious people or atheists. There are just Americans. There are just human beings. The experience of being reminded of that is a profound one that itself helps veterans heal from the wounds of war.
It was the policy in our battalion that anything that came in, we would fire right back once we knew where it was from. I didn't take my mind to other questions about where those rounds were landing until I changed jobs. I got to see that what was happening was folks would fire the weapons from playgrounds. They were doing this from schools. They were doing this from marketplaces, you name it. They were doing it in places where the design was to turn the people against us. I mean, they would fire whatever from a place that was highly populated where they knew we would kill a lot of people when we responded. It didn't really hit me until we'd gotten home and I was in Fort Benning. I'd already moved from my unit, maybe sometime 2006, and I was at a park, and there was a playground there, and there was some kids playing, and I just lost it. Like I couldn't hold it in. I just started crying and crying and crying.
My hope is that one day there will be thousands or tens of thousands of Vets Town Hall events all across the country. That will help give veterans a sense of purpose, a sense of understanding of their role in our society, but it will also maybe serve to reunite this country in a common purpose with a common goal.
Thank you, everyone. And now, honored guest from the Transgender American Veterans Association, please welcome the National President, Rebecca Eschler, and the Vice President, Avalisa Ellicott, for an insightful discussion.
Hello, hello. How is everyone this afternoon, evening? I think it's still afternoon.
Right? Well, back home it's only like, what, noon at my house?
Alaska, Dallas, different time zones.
Different time
Thank you
zone.
so much for being here. We are here this afternoon to talk about the intersectionality of being trans and being a veteran. Not sure how many of you have a trans veteran friend that you know, but now you do. Hello, my
Hi,
name
guys.
is Avalisa.
My name
This
is Rebecca.
Becky. We're your best friends now. So yeah, we just kind of want to get into that and talk about that a bit.
So yeah, being trans and a veteran is two spaces, right? We always hear this. Veteran is an old guy in a hat, white, who that's what you think of, right? The main image. But that's not true. I think we've seen here at NatCon that you have many different images. We have female veterans, we have artists, we have athletes, we have transgender veterans. We are all veterans. I like to say the veteran title is more of a circle where all of our other personalities and actions and who we are intersect that circle instead of being a square that holds us apart from the others.
One of the things is that in this space as trans veterans, we so often run into these interactions with people, usually the older generation, who feel like we're not allowed to be veterans at the same time as being trans. They feel like we have to set one day. I'm not trans today. Today I'm a veteran. I can't be both at the same time. But that's not the way the world works. And so we are constantly having these conversations to let people know there's intersectionality everywhere. There are Black female veterans who can be Black and can also be female and can also be veterans at the same time. And the issues that they go through are just as important as everyone else's.
For sure. And then our organization, the Transgender American Veterans Association, which actually this is its 20-year anniversary. Think about that, 20 years we've been there. And how many of you guys know what the trans flag looks like, the original?
Seeing some hands. It's blue, pink, white, pink, blue.
Our founder, Monica Helms, who is a
She's a
submariner, created that flag. So it was really cool and really special to us that we actually got to see this past August in the Smithsonian, the original flag, right next to all the 9/11 stuff. It just brings back intersectionality about why many of us have served post 9/11 and the future, the post trans coming out into the openness. And it was great to see.
So I remember being in the military and fighting all of the time. I was in during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And so it was one of those things where they were on a witch hunt trying to get everyone. And I remember what that experience was like. And I came out of the other side of it. And because I had such a hard experience in the military, coming out into a veteran space, it was like, okay, let me leave this behind. I'm not a veteran anymore. I will use it when I need to. Because I'm still trying to figure out what to say when people say thank you for your service. Is there like a general thing to say back to that? Do you say you're welcome? You say what?
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I'm always like, you're welcome. It feels very odd.
I like to say I put my pants on just like you do, you know.
But you know, there was a disconnection from my veteran identity, and it took a very long time for me to make those connections, because in so many veteran spaces that I went in personally, I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like everybody was, you know, waving around a certain idea that you had to be a certain type of person, and it felt like I wasn't supported. But here we are today on stage. Hello.
Hi.
I have been walking around with a tag that says Transgender American Veterans Association on it, and I have felt so comfortable and so embraced by the people that are here at NatCon, and I do want to thank you for that real quick.
Yes. Thank you, SVA. SVA has been my home for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, I was in 2019 at the Leadership Institute. So if anyone has the opportunity to go do it, apply now. I was barely out in my school. I was chapter president for University of Anchorage, Alaska. Is there any Alaskans in here? Nah, I know Hawaii's here though, so let's go Hawaiians. Yeah, you guys are almost just as long of a flight, I know. But I went to Leadership Institute, totally confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Did I want to come out publicly? Did I just want to keep doing what I was doing? And I met my wonderful mentor, Christina Black. She inspired me to, don't let the haters hate. You gotta be who you are. You can't live a life where you're afraid of letting everyone know who you are and why you're so important and what you have to give them. So at the end of that wonderful week, I came out as trans to my fellow veterans, which was such an amazing opportunity and an experience. Because let's face it, the veteran community as a whole has been more accepting of me, of who I am, than my actual friends outside of the veteran space. When I first transitioned, I didn't transition while I was in. I waited 4 years. I found out I actually had VA benefits during my transition, and it was all this big stuff. And my friends that I made afterwards, only 2 out of 10 ratio, about 20% of them stayed with me. The ones that I met during my active duty stints and from SVA and all my veteran space, 80% of them were still my friend after I came out. And it just shows you how much support this community means to us, because we need your guys' support, because honestly, the civilian world, they're not fully ready just to be accepting, which is a sad spot.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we are starting to feel more connected to these veteran spaces. Yes, our organization exists so that trans veterans can have a space, but we don't need to feel like that's the only space we can be. Some of it was our own doing. We said, we're not gonna do it. We don't wanna even play the game. But now we're at a place where we are trying to be a part of these things. We do wanna feel that welcome, that sense of community, and now we're starting to feel it. So we are up here asking our veteran community, we are asking that please, when you see that anyone in our community is having issues, please be there and support us. I can hear that somebody is having issues with a very specific thing, and I hear that they're a veteran, and I'm going to support them because they are a veteran. We have that tie through being veterans. We all signed the contract. And so when you do see trans veterans standing up and saying, hey, there's a thing that we need help with, please sign on, because we all signed the contract.
At the end of the day, I like to talk about this chapter book. We all have our own book that has these many chapters in it. Who knows where you started? You could have been a baseball player as your kid, but we all have the same chapter. We all came up, we took that oath, we went to basic training, and then we lived our life afterwards. That is what connects us as a whole. So my challenge for all of you guys is that are going back to your SVAs, that are presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, is to make your guys a safe spot. I know when I was chapter president, we didn't have an LGBT club on campus. The SVA club became that club. We welcomed anyone into our fold just to make sure that they had a safe spot where they knew they could be who they want to be and no one's going to judge them. And if they were, then together as a group, we would leave them there and bring everyone else somewhere else. So that's my challenge to you guys.
Yeah, there are so many places where trans people run into a lot of hiccups. And it's places that you wouldn't think. When we go into the veteran office at school, some of us don't have name and gender changes fully done. Some of us are going into that office and outing ourselves, and it's a very scary, vulnerable experience. And so to have that person who we're speaking to say, we got you. What is your name? What are the pronouns that you use? How can I affirm you? Those situations, those instances show us that we are supported. And so please go back to all of your different chapters, all of your universities, and try and spread that, because we all hear about the number. We hear how bad it is. It's 22 a day, and a lot of these people are trans people. And the thing is, you can reduce that number significantly when it comes to trans people by using the correct name and by using pronouns. Thinking that that little can save someone's life, it's not that hard. And so we really just want to, we are in this place. We are here, and we want to use the privilege of being here to help everyone else in our community.
Thank you guys all. Fall. We gave you 30 seconds.
Please welcome Student Veteran of the Year finalist, Silgi No of the University of Southern California.
Thank you. Fight on. Thank you to all of the inspirational and impactful speakers we've heard today. The last keynote speaker of the 15th Annual SVA National Conference will continue that trend. But first, this is your last reminder of the conference to make sure you're registered for My SVA, or if you have registered, make sure to keep your info updated. You can navigate to it on the homepage of studentveterans.org, and it's the easiest and best way to remain up to speed on all SVA-related scholarship, opportunities, and chapter tools. I am so very honored to introduce Master Sergeant Cedric King, who entered the United States Army in 1995. During his 20 years career, King provided himself to be an exemplary soldier, graduating from several distinguishing schools in the Army, including but not limited to the United States Army Jumpmaster Course, United States Army Pathfinder Course, Air Assault Course, and the United States Army Ranger Course. He is the recipient of the Bronze Star, the Purple Heart, the Meritorious Service Medal, and the Legion of Merit. Please welcome to the stage Cedric King.
Clean up overnight initially on the roads and the highways because there's no reports of any closed roads or blocked intersections all the way around Atlanta.
My name is Master Sergeant Cedric King, U.S. Army, retired from Atlanta, Georgia. Afghanistan is the wild, wild west. You're going through a village that you've never been in before. Booby traps everywhere. Everybody looks like they are getting ready to shoot at you. During this day, I can remember something feeling different. We're gonna go and do like a reconnaissance. But the place where we're going to do the reconnaissance is a pretty nasty spot. I make a decision to go back outside and be without a perimeter. And when I do, I stepped on that IED. It digs a hole about 2 or 3 feet deep. I just remember waking up that the life that you had, it's not there anymore. I couldn't make peace with it. I was in the hospital for 3 years. We need you to be dad again. I began to find the peace in the storm. What is this trying to teach me? My heart was saying, hey man, there's so much good to give. If you can just get out of this hospital bed, you could probably be pretty inspiring to other people, man. Keep fighting. 26 months and 3 days after losing my legs, I am completing a half Ironman, 70.3 miles. I realize that my injury doesn't define me because I know that what does define me is what I do after the injury.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and take seats. Go ahead and take seats, please. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. Let's see who we got in here right now, okay? Just let me hear you. Where are those pesky Marines at? Where are they at? Golly. All right, Army. Hey, you know what's happening. Where you at? There you go. There you go. There you go. It sounds like there's a lot more Marines here, but hey, that's about right. The ratio is about right, about 2 to 1. 2 of y'all for 1 of us. It's about right. That's about right. That's about right. All right. Air Force, where you at? Where you at, Air Force? Okay, y'all in here today. Okay. All right. Navy, where you at? Hey, wait, I think some of y'all Marines. Wait a minute, wait, hey, you can't count 2 for 1, all right? All right. All right, the almighty, all-present Coast Guard, where you at? Yeah. God, if it were more of y'all, man, we'd have won the war a long time ago, man. Good gracious. All right, Space Force. Are there any? They're probably guarding space right now if they're not here. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, listen, I love to have fun. I just want to see who we got. We got all the Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, no Space Force, but they're on duty. We just want to make sure. Let me see. If you grew up in the 70s and 80s, let's say you were born in the 70s, raised in the 80s and 90s, where you at? Where you at? These my people right here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay, all right. Now, young lady, I just saw you raise your hand. Okay. I'm gonna give you an easy one. This is a layup. You don't even have to worry about getting it wrong. Well, if you get it wrong, they're gonna talk about you. But, no giving her the answer, all right? Don't help her out with it at all. If you do help her out, I'm gonna call on you next. Okay, ma'am, what's your name? Tammy, this is gonna be an easy one. I am rooting for you. All you gotta do is give me the rest of the words to this amazing song. It's the 80s. All right. You got 80s. 80s rock and roll. All right. Now look, hey, if Tammy messes this up, take it easy, a little grace, all right? All right, Tammy, I'm gonna help you out with the first couple words. I want you to just finish out. You don't even have to sing it. Just give me the words to it, okay? We gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. Go, Tammy, give me the rest of it. Tammy, don't do this, not now. Tammy, don't do this, not right now, don't do this. All right. You don't know that one? All right, so I'm gonna just show you how many people do know this right here, okay? All right, crowd, here we go. We gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other. We'll give it a shot. Hey, Tammy, you supposed to know that, girl. They still singing. Tammy. Hey, shout out to y'all. Tammy, you supposed to know that right there. All right, hey, tell you what though. Pull out your phone right now, get that in you. On the way home, sing it all the way. We'll call it even, all right? No, it's good to have family in here, man. We got Marines, we got Army, Navy, Coast Guard. It feels like family in here. All right, and we got, Air Force. Okay, yep. Aim high, all right? No, it feels like family in here, and this is just us, just vibing today. But I want to make sure that when you go home, you got tools and techniques to be able to outlast the storms. I know we got all of the resources from the last few days, but I want to give you an incredible resource, which is strength in here. The resilience component is what I want you to walk away with today. And I want to just share with you a couple techniques that I have used over the years. When I got out of this war zone in Afghanistan, it's tough, man. It really was. And I know I'm talking to the choir right now. Each one of us has seen combat probably maybe 1, 2, 10 times. Who knows? But I want to just share with you what worked for me. And hopefully, when you leave out of here and you get back to the job, and you get back to the family, you get back to the house, and tough times do hit as they often do, I want you to have some ammo. I don't want to send you out there with no ammo. I don't want to send you out there ill-prepared to handle the tough times in life. Pull out something to write with, something to write on. I want you to be armed and dangerous. The first thing, if we're talking about building this resilience component, I will tell you what worked for me, and this is maybe one of the greatest things. And I'm not trying to Bible thump anybody, but it was this component. It was faith. It's faith, and I stand on that. It was faith. It was faith to believe that God had not forgotten about me. I know, tough as it was, I was sitting there in this hospital room, Bandages are everywhere. Surgeries, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. It was tough. I wanted to quit, and I know I ain't the only one in here that wanted to quit at one time or another. Amen. But believing that this wasn't the last chapter is one of the key components you have to have. And it's not just believing, but it has to go beyond believing to the point where you can say it. Sometimes you can be intimidated to talk about how good tomorrow will be. Come on, somebody, I know it. Sometimes it's hard to believe it, and it's even more scary to say it. It's hard to say that, hey man, tomorrow's gonna be better, I promise. I know it'll be better. Sometimes it's tough to say that because maybe, what if it ain't? What if it won't? It's tough. But it's 2023. Time out for not being able to talk about tomorrow and the good that will come. Write this one down. You got to be able to say it before you see it. You hear what I'm saying? You have to be able to say it before you see it. If you can't say it, how in the world do you expect to see it? I had to be able to say, I'm going to be running one of these days. And it might not be tomorrow. It might not be the day after that. But pretty soon, it's going to be my turn. And I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. A, B, or C, or maybe all of them. Are you able to get to a place where you not only see it up here, but you can say it right here? This is what worked, I'm telling you. And all too often, when you say that, when you say what you've seen up here, there's going to be a little bit of opposition. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to work. This is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to experience. There are going to be people and circumstances to come against the very thing you see up here and in here. The moment you say it, I promise you, there's going to be somebody that doesn't see it like you do. Sure enough for me, the doctor, is a Navy doctor too, I think. No pressure on the Navy. But sure enough, the docs come in, and if you've ever been in the hospital, what they like to do is they like to make these things called rounds. They make rounds in the hospital, and they make them at odd hours. I don't know if we got any docs in the house, but you got to work on that. 5 o'clock making your rounds, right? Making your rounds. And they normally have 2 or 3 doctors with them. And sure enough, the doc comes into the room, and I'm laid out. He cuts on every light in there. It looks like Times Square in my room. And sure enough, the doc comes in and he's doing the little checks with his clipboard. He's doing the checks, and he's talking to the little younger doctors, and they're talking about medical words that are way bigger than what I could spell, but they're like this, he's got this, and he's got this, and this is what's gonna happen. And he's going around, I notice he's wearing an Army 10-miler t-shirt. And in my excitement, it just came out of me. In my excitement, the doctor is standing right there. I said, Doug, how was the race? How was it? How did it go? And he said, oh, it went great. It was great weather, everything. And I said, Doc, you know what? I'm going to run that next year. I'm going to run the Army 10-miler 1 year from now. Now, remember, I just told you, as soon as you say some of those things, what happens is there's someone right there ready to jump on the very thing you said you were going to do. But this is valuable. This is valuable, family. You need someone to tell you no every now and again. You need the door slammed in your face a couple times during your journey. If you think you're going to go from point A to point B with all the doors open, you're fooling yourself. You need a slammed door. You need somebody to tell you that your idea sucks. You need this. Not to break your heart and not to make you feel bad, but this is where you get to find out who you are. How much do you really believe in that idea? How much do you really believe in what you say you've been dreaming about? Will it survive? That idea sucks. Will it survive? You're not smart enough for this. Will it survive? You don't have the right connections. Will it survive? That book won't sell. Will it survive those things? Only one way for you to know that. There's only one way that you're ever going to know that. And somebody has to come along and tell you what that book ain't, what your connections lack. You need this. Write it down. Write this down. You need to be told no. You need the resistance. You need the resistance component. It's part of the recipe. We just finished Christmas holidays. You went to eat over somebody's house and they left out part of the ingredients for the recipe. Didn't taste right. Aunt Christina, you got to put some more nutmeg in that thing. You're missing a little bit of this paprika. Put a little more sugar in here. If you try to get all the way to success without having a door slammed in your face, you're missing part of the ingredients. You can't get to success without a door slam. I'm just giving you the ingredients. This is part of what it takes. For me, that doctor telling me what I could not do and where I would not be, at the time, I thought he was just Mr. Debbie Downer. But now I know that I was on the right track. As soon as I started getting the negativity, that is actually where the GPS is leading me in the right direction. You're on the right track now. You've been told no, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Stay right there. Keep on believing. Past the doubts, keep on believing. Keep going that way. Somebody ever asked you for direction? Say, hey, keep going. You ain't there yet. Keep going. Now, part of this ingredient for this successful resilience cake is this. You got to be a fighter. It's 2023, baby. You got to know how to fight. And I'm not talking about with your hands. We in Florida, so you may have to do that before you leave here. But you got to know how to fight with your mind and your heart in 2023. Do you know how to fight with your mind and your heart? Now, I'm an avid reader, and one of my favorite books is Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. Really popular guy in these military circles, is doing it big, and I appreciate it. But in that book, I saw this clip that's about to come up, and I'm going to share it with you by show of hands. Anybody in here has not seen Rocky Part 1? Yes. We got 1, 2, okay, 3. They're starting to, 4, okay, it's okay. You're in a safe space. Tammy, make sure you get with them, all right? You seen this one right here, right, Tammy? All right, I know you, okay. Now what you're gonna see right now, they're gonna pull up a video. And when they pull it up, it's going to be an excerpt from one of the greatest movies of all time. It's called Rocky. Now, when they pull up this video, go ahead and pull it up, Chris. When they pull it up, take a look at this. Look at this. Pause it real quick, Chris. Let me set something up. This might be how you feel already this year, okay? There is somebody that's clearly winning, and there's somebody that's clearly losing right now. Go ahead and play it. Go ahead and keep it going. That might be how you feel. Round 14. Now keep your eye on this right here. That's what it feels like sometimes when things become overwhelming. But this, pause it. Rocky ain't landed a lick yet. I ain't seen him score a punch yet. Keep it going.
What is keeping him up, Bill?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Can't even get his gloves up to protect him. He's defenseless now, Bill.
And the knockdown. Pause it. And the knockdown comes. Now this is exactly where some of us may be at right now. 2023 just started and you got knocked down, and this is a great place to be. This is a great place to be. And a lot of people won't tell you on the floor is a great place to be, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is so important. If you've been knocked down in relationships, if you've been knocked down in business, if you've been knocked down at school, if you've been knocked down with your health, this is the most important place to be. Because now you get to once again find out who you really are. What's really under the hood? What's in your wallet? Shameless plug. All right, maybe Capital One, I don't know. But this is where you get to find out what you got. Who are you now? After you've been knocked down, after the relationship fell apart, after the kids won't get right. The bills are more than you can pay. Tuition went up. Whatever the case may be, money ain't right. This is where you find out who you are, baby. Go ahead and play it, Chris. Down, stay down. Pause it. And you know you're on the right track when the people in your corner are trying to tell you, just give up. Come on, just knock it off. The book idea, it's been 2 years. You would have wrote it over the COVID if you really wanted to do this. You stalling, stop it. But this lets you know you're on the right track. When the people in your corner start to discourage you a little bit, go ahead and play it. Watch this.
Dancing around with his arms in the air.
Yeah. Pause it real quick. Pause it. Now, it's round 14, and Adrian just showed up, okay? Ladies, if your man is out there boxing in a fight, don't show up around 14. You're supposed to have been there. Go ahead and play the video.
5, 6.
Watch what happens. Watch this.
8, 9.
Watch this. It's important. Right about right there. Did you see that? I said, did you just see that? Look at that man's face. Now, keep in mind, he ain't been punched yet. Rocky ain't laid a punch yet. But right now, he hanging his head. What in the world could make this guy feel defeated? What? What can make you feel defeated, sir? You've been winning for 14 rounds, and you're hanging your head. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Is this? The man got back to his feet again. When resistance is giving you everything it's got, and you feel defeated when the bills keep coming, when the frustration continues to pile up, the anxiety is like it's never been before. This is the moment. This is your championship moment. This is how you land the knockout punch when you don't have the right connections. When you doubt yourself, when people have given up on you, this is where you land that knockout punch. It's by getting back up again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until it's all that you got. All you may have, your only move right now may be to get back up again. And let me say something. If that's the only move you got, that's the only move you need. Did you hear what I just said? If that's the only move you got, you don't have the connections, you don't have the money, you don't know the right people. Getting back up again after you've been knocked down is the one thing that will keep you winning. I promise you. I learned this the hard way. I put these prosthetics on, and the doctor's like, hey, listen, we're gonna learn to walk all over again. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you figure walking would be so simple, but I've been doing it for 35 years at the time. Walking should be basic. 2-year-olds do it. But at this moment in time, I get these prosthetics and I just felt like, I was like, man, I can't figure out how to balance and I don't know how to put this foot. I kept falling down. Take a step, fall down again. And again and again and again. And the doc began to clap for me. He said, wow, you're doing it. I said, bro, I'm doing what? I'm falling all over this place. I got skin burns and cuts and bruises, about all I got. He said, no. You got something way more valuable than that. He said, you're continuing to fall down, and those falls, those failures are going to help you overcome one of the greatest things that keep people from walking, keep people from living. It's the fear of failure. He said, you continue to stand back up again, sooner or later, you're going to break that fear of failure, the fear of falling. And when you do that, you're going to walk way faster than a lot of these other cats. You're not going to walk one day looking down. You're going to be walking one day looking at a room full of people without having to worry about falling down. And I will say this, same thing goes for you. Everybody in here been to the rifle range once or twice. Maybe Navy, maybe y'all didn't go. Air Force, maybe y'all don't know what the rifle range is, but it's a place. But it's this place that we go and we learn how to shoot. All right, last Air Force joke. I'm sorry. Y'all do live good, though, let's be honest, all right? Y'all do live good, all right? And I'm jealous of it, that's the truth of the matter. But the fact of the matter is you don't get to become an expert rifleman. You don't become an expert shooter by hitting a target every time. You got to miss before you make it. You got to miss before you hit. And the more you miss, the better shot you'll be one day if you don't quit. If you do not quit, you'll be an incredible shot because the misses teach you the best lessons. Now, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't really remember all the times where my mom put her arms around me and hugged me. I know she did. She told me she loved me, but I remember them times where she told me up, where that belt came out, and I remember them today. It's the mistakes that you make, the ones that cost you, the things that you remember, that stick with you. They'll stick with you too if you don't quit. Don't worry about the mistakes that you're making. Learn from them. Try not to make them again, but don't let it stop you from keep on marching, man. Keep marching. Now, hey, I know we said that we had some Marines in here today. And Marines, if you in the house, all right, look, all right. Hopefully you don't get scared now. But give me 3 Marines up here. Give me 3 Marines. Give me 3 Marines. If you ain't scared, come on up here. Give me 3. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me we don't have Marines in here? These is toughest Marines we got in here? Okay,
Cedric,
okay, that's how it is.
Let's have those Marines get on stage.
All right. Well, we about to
Cedric, let's have those Marines get on stage so we can really see the action.
Okay. I'll do that. But I at least got to let you know this. All right. About to get tough, all right? So I know you have on a skirt, and I want you to make sure it's gonna be pointing that way. The skirt's gonna be pointing that way, but I want to make sure that you're straight, okay? Okay, but you might want to take that coat. It's gonna get a little hot in here. I'm taking mine off. All right, hey, do we got any Army here? Maybe 2 Army. Can we get two Army guys? Two. Okay. Bring it on up. This is how you make it through the storm. Now, hey, if this don't go right, don't have him attack me, all right? All right. Come on up. If y'all want it, let's go ahead and get it on up here, up on the stage. Come on up. This is what the unknown feels like. This is what the unknown feels like. This is what it feels like to start something you don't know how it's going to end. Let me see one of those chairs over there. Let me see one of these chairs right here. I'm going to use this one for me. Okay, now go ahead and stretch. Y'all going to need it. Y'all going to need it. All right, Marines, y'all tough now, right? All right, you might want to come out of that coat, too. It's going to be a little stretch added to you. All right, go ahead and loosen up, team. All right, now what we're going to do is this right here. We're going to show you how to make it through the storm of life. This is a practical example right here. And don't miss this. Go ahead and pull out your cameras. Now, these are the rules right here. These are the rules right here. We're only going to do a certain number of push-ups, okay? Only going to do a certain number. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But in life, you're not going, you can sub out. You can pick somebody if you want. You want to pick somebody out and sub somebody out? All right, Jose. We ain't got no Marines just wants to come up. I knew y'all. Okay, come on up. Come on. I was about to talk about you bad. Okay, uh-oh. All right, now you got me worried now. Okay. You see that haircut he got? Okay. Now you got me worried. All right. This who you coming in to call in the cavalry with? Okay.
I'll stay up here.
No, you got to come on. So we got one running? We got one runner?
I don't care.
Okay, come on up, fellas. Come on up. Come on. They're going to need you here in a minute, I promise. Okay, now listen. This is the game right here, okay? We only got a few more minutes. But here is how. I am going to give you these secrets on how to make it through the toughest storms, okay? And right now, I'm about to take you through a tough storm. It's about to be tough. Now, I mean, I'm not going to do nothing you ain't never done before, but it's going to be tough. You going to be able to do push-ups?
Can I do push-ups?
With the, I mean, because you're going to be grunting here in a minute. I don't want them to think it's me. I ain't going to be able to run away as fast, all right? I can't get away as fast as I used to. I might stand and fight, all right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, everybody turn around, everybody turn around, everybody turn around, everybody turn around. You cannot look. This is the number that we're going to. All right, this is not 0.5, all right? This is not a 0.5, all right? It counts as a full one, all right? So, all right. Okay, that's what we're going to. Everybody got the number. Do not breach security, all right? Do not let them know the number. All right, turn around, team. All right, now we're going to be going to a number that you don't know where we're going to, okay? You don't know how long it's going to last. I know and they know. Now, this is what you can do in life, and this is what you can do today. You can use their cheering as sources of motivation. In life, you have to rely on the people that are cheering for you. That's one of the secrets. If you're not using your environment to your good, you're wasting it. That's good ammo right there. Are you benefiting from the people that are cheering for you in your life? And number two is this right here. You can cheer for each other. You're going to need to cheer for each other here in just a few minutes, okay? Now my job is to make sure that some of them, maybe all of them, quit. And I think that I'll be able to get some of them. But your job is just to make it until I quit. I know when I'm supposed to quit. They know when I'm supposed to quit. You don't. Your only job is to not quit. You can make it to the end if you do not quit. I don't care what you got to do. Make it to the end. I don't care how bad it looks. I don't care how much you sweat. I don't care how much you cry. I don't know how much your arms hurt. Make it to the end. And I'm going to pull out every trick in the book. Ready? Go ahead and stretch. Here we go. We're about to get started. As soon as I take these legs off, it's going to be go time. If you weren't ready before, you better be ready now. Running out of time. Here you go. All right, okay, we're about to see. Now, I know everybody in here knows how the count goes, but look, I know you ain't been in the military in a while, so let me refresh you. This is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna say down, You're not gonna count on down. You're only gonna count on the words up. Got it? So let's do like a little rehearsal real quick. You ready? Down. Up. Down. Up. All right. Y'all good. Two should do it. Okay. Now, we're not going to stop at 2. We're going to go way past that. But I want to get a volunteer up here to be their guide. You cannot tell them how many more they have to go, but you can encourage them. No, you got to come right here. You got to come right here, because I got to be able to whisper to you, and I got to be able to, talk to you one-on-one. All right, is everybody ready? All right, put your position. Let's get it. Here we go. All right. All right, everybody in here should know where the push-up position is. All right. Keep an eye on Rover, all right? Because look, hey, I see he wanted to go right now. All right, here we go. You know what the number is, right? All right, yeah, we just making sure we the same number. Okay, down, up, 1, down, up, 2, down, up, 3, down, up, 4, down, up, 1, down, up, 6, down, up, down, up. This man is doing it with a prosthetic. Yeah. Do you see this? Hey. Don't make me do one arms, all right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Oh. What's the count? 13. All right, so the count is 13. Bro, I don't care what you got to do. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care you got to do them on your knees. I don't care. You better not quit, though. You better not quit.
Get on your knees, let's go!
Get on your knees, do what you got to do, get there.
Get on your knees, let's go!
All right, here we go. Down. Up. Down.
Keep going!
Up. Down.
Keep going!
Up. Down.
Keep going!
Up. Down. Up. Down.
You got this!
Up. Down. Up. What's the count? Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Okay, all right. Wait just a second. Come on up. I need to know this. What's the count? 26. Now.
You got this.
Now, this is where adversity really kicks in. Because now the games start. I ain't played no games yet. But now's where the games start. And in life, this is exactly where the games start. The games don't be played when you got plenty of money in your pocket. Games don't start on sunny days when you got a full tank of gas. The games start when it's pouring raining outside. Flat tire. Supposed to be at the office an hour ago. Now let's get it. Down.
Let's go! You got it!
Oh, I got this, baby. I live here. I live here. You better stay with it. Bro, don't make me do one arm. Down.
Oh, yeah. Room for you, man.
Oh. Make sure you control the voice on the inside. It ain't these voices out here. They'll help you. But if you ain't helping the voice in here, man, you done. Now, we got 3 more to go. I'm going to make these the hardest 3 ever.
You got this.
Down.
Don't let him take it, Jake. You got it. Come on.
I might take a nap, bro. I might take a nap. Wake me up when it's ready.
Let's go. You got it. Don't let them take it. Let's go. You take it. Let's go.
I don't care what you got to do.
You got it.
How many more we got? Where we at? What's the count? What's the count?
Give me one more. You got this. One more.
I'm gonna make this one hurt. I'm gonna make this one hurt. Now, if you want to quit, you can quit right now. You quit right now. You quit right now. You go. You get out of here right now. You can get out of here right now.
You're fighting for me. You ain't quit.
Get out of here right now. Get out of here right now. You can quit right now if you want. Down. I gave you an out. I gave you an out. You ain't taking it. Come on. Now, wait a minute. Hey, where's the mic at? Where's the mic at? Where's the mic at? There's a mic on here. It's a mic out here somewhere. Where's it at?
Where's the one for Chesty?
Now, hey, listen. What number did it start to get a little hot at? 5? It started to get hot at 5? See, if it started to get hot at 5, that's how it is in life sometimes. You just got married. It's May, and y'all, it's just how it is. That's just how it is. Your job is to not quit, and I don't care how you got to 30. I don't care what it looked like.
That's half my age.
It don't matter. It don't matter how you got there. Get there. Do not quit. There is no number that you can't get to if you don't quit. We could have did 100. It wouldn't have been pretty. It wouldn't have been pretty, but we'd have got there. And all I'm saying to you in life, I don't care what it looked like when you get to the finish line. Get there. Make me tap out. Make me, resistance, tap out before you do.
Yeah.
All right? All right. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, you got a question? Okay, go ahead and give it to him.
We got. Hey, Marines, you know we got to do one for Chesty.
Hey, well, what is it then? How you want to do it then? On 3, you call it. You call it. Down, up. You call it.
Ready. Hey, I need to hear my Marines. Where we at? Ready. Down.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Oh, you called it.
Down.
All right now.
Up. for the commandant.
One for the commandant. All right, whatever. All right, we go. Is that all? Hey, what? Hey, who else get one? No, everybody good? One for the ones who didn't come home. Let's do it. All right now. All right now. I am not getting up till y'all get up. So whatever it's gonna be. Everybody, okay. All right now. All right now. All right, hey, that's my time. That's my time. That's my time. That's my time right there. Give it up, give it up, give it up. All right, brother. All right, man. Don't quit, bro. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. All right, man. All right now. Bro, hey, don't quit. All right now, to close us out, I think we got somebody coming up right now. I didn't know it was gonna get this rowdy in here. I don't think nobody knew it was gonna get this rowdy. I didn't think y'all were gonna, I didn't think it was gonna get crazy up here, but I think we got a gentleman that's coming up in here to kind of remind us about all what we did here.
Hey y'all, it's Jared from Student Veterans of America. I may have gotten a little carried away there, so if you saw some of the inside, that's what's in there. Hey, first, can we give it up for this man?
All right. All right. All right. All right.
So we've got our 15th anniversary National Headquarters Challenge coin on behalf of nearly 1,600 SVA chapters strong. We want to make sure we put one in your palm.
Here we go.
Thank you, man.
Fantastic.
The last thing we have tonight is the Student Veteran Ball. Who's fired up for that? Do a little dancing. Maybe if you are somebody who imbibes, there'll be some drinking. There'll be some non-alcoholic options as well. There'll be some eating. And the 3rd Infantry Division Band will be back playing with us tonight. So that's going to be in Fiesta 5 and 6, if I'm not wrong. Starts at 7, we'll go to 10 or TBD. And y'all can't miss it because Disney's got some exciting things, and I've got a big announcement about where next year's NatCon is going to be. And listen, if you have someone says Vegas always. I don't know. You're gonna have to come tonight. You have to find out. But if you have not gotten your 15th anniversary challenge coin, that means that we haven't had a chance to talk, and my goal is to talk to everybody before we leave. So I'll be here for a little bit, and then I'll also be at the ball tonight, but make sure you come find me so I can get you a coin in your palm. Thank you all so much. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. for some drinking and dancing. All right.
Let's have a round of applause once more for Cedric King, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening, and we'll see you at the ball. 6:45 doors open, 7 o'clock the event begins. Come dressed in your finest. We hope you've enjoyed our closing keynote. Have a good evening.